Ladies and gentlemen, you know, America, when it came into existence, it hit the ground running in murder and in lies and oppression and things that they really had to sit around and make up. Racism is a made up construct in order to give a fake advantage to the Caucasoid population. That's all. That's the only reason why racism was made up. Okay, was to give them an up over everyone else. Is racism real? Well, that's when it gets kind of complicated, but just know that for the most part, racism is fake. It's fake. These people could not figure out how to give themselves an advantage over anyone else, so they sat around and came up with racism, and it's fake. Do they have superior skin? Well, I want you to take a look at these pictures. Many of these pictures show second degree burning from the sun. I think this should pretty much clear up them having the better skin on the planet. Okay, it just is about as fake as they are. You know, the funny part is I had a couple of my cousins that came out and viewed my video, and when they saw my video on do Caucasoids have superior skin, and they saw all the pus balls on the skin, they said it changed everything. It changed everything. They can't even look at them the same way anymore after they saw the sunburned eyeballs and the pus balls from all of that from the sun and the second degree burns on the skin. Is that they never can look at them the same again. I think that's a real wake up call for many of our people as far as believing these folks have some type of superiority. Now, if they really truly were superior in intelligence and with their skin, why do we continue to fail to see this? Why do we still see these people with bad sunburns and pus balls and they got high IQs? We've been here since the 1600s. Okay, so from 1600s to 2017, you still have not perfected a product that can keep you from burning, but you're running around talking about you got a high IQ. Even that's fake. Okay, so just know all of their advantages over Black people is just a bunch of made up things. It has nothing to do with reality at all. Okay, this is just a bunch of mess they had to sit around and make up. But just believe what our sun is revealing to us. The sun is revealing the truth, and they can't hide this. You know, how do they exist without being out in the sun? They really can't. Our sun shines all over the globe. Not unless you go underground and stay underground. There's no real way to escape it. This is what happens to their skin, even with sunscreen, ladies and gentlemen. And just to show you, even the palms of their hands get badly burned. And their eyeballs and even the soles of their feet, if exposed to the sun, that gets burnt too. You know, a lot of times once people see this, that superior stuff goes out the window real fast. Okay, so we know they don't have the best skin, and racism is just made up. They had to do something to keep themselves at the top. And unfortunately, it has worked in some ways. But of course, those of us that are wide awake, it's not working on us at all. But the people that are not awake, unfortunately, are still buying that these beings are superior, and that's why the coon exists. The coon exists because the coon actually worshiped these devils. That's what they are. I mean, coons are nothing more than cave devil worshippers. That's all they are. They worship these people. They believe the lie of them being superior, and they bought into the whole thing. That's why they're a coon. And swirlers. Whether you're a black man or woman, you're nothing but a cave dweller worshiper. That's all you are. You're not looking at the truth. You choose to believe a lie. But let's go a little deeper in this. Now, for many decades, they have claimed this being the biggest population in America. But are they really, ladies and gentlemen? See these children in the picture? They are Mexican. They are counted as white in America. People from Northern Africa are counted as white in America. And some of these people are darker than the average black person, but they are still classified as white. You see East Indians, some East Indians are darker than the average black person, but in America, they are listed as white. In fact, I know that for a fact. I used to work with an East Indian guy that used to sit close to my desk back when I used to work in corporate America. And we got into a conversation, and even he had to admit, he was like, black people are not what was described to me. He said, they described like y'all were just awful. He said, but when I come in here and work every day, y'all fine. I don't see what they're making a big deal out of. I said, because in America, they tell a lot of lies on black people. A lot. This is why in my life, I don't know what your experiences were, but in my life, when I would meet immigrants, whether it was on a job or out and about, they all pretty much made that same comment. It was like, what is the big deal about them hating on black people? When I meet black people, y'all are fine. And this is coming from immigrants. So he and I got into a conversation, and he told me, this is an East Indian guy, when they come to America to live, they force them into that white category. And they make them feel like if they don't accept that, they're going to have a lot of problems. So, when he brought that to light, I used to think that's what they wanted to classify themselves as. No, when they come as immigrants to America, America tells them what they're going to be classified as. They don't get to pick. On my other channel, I did a video on the Egyptian man, clearly black, but he was forced to classify himself as white. And I did a whole video segment on that on my old channel. But that's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. These people get told they have to be white when they come to America. They don't let them pick. And then he showed me his driver's license. Now, he was a dark-skinned East Indian man. And he had right on his driver's license, as plain as day, white. And then I worked with a few Hispanics that, every now and then we would have lunch together. And this Hispanic woman, she had wool hair and dark skin. She had right on her driver's license. She showed it to me, white. Okay. And here's the point I'm trying to make to you, ladies and gentlemen. The vast majority of the white population are immigrants. It is not the white European that's making up the bulk of the white population. And I know this just from being around immigrants that were not clearly white, but they are told when they come to this country, if they have to be listed as white. And that's what's happening. They're not that big. They can't even reproduce themselves anymore. And that just go to show you, no matter how much they run around screaming high IQ and being superior and being the master race, their high IQ is not resolving the fact that they can't reproduce themselves anymore. Their high IQ is not keeping them from getting second-degree burns in the sun. So, you know what? So that should tell you right there, their high IQ ain't going to save them at all. Their high IQ is just as much race. It is racist because it's, again, a way to keep an advantage over the black population. So they need to take a test. First of all, if you are intelligent, you don't need a test to tell you that. But see, these folks do. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to point to you is they have no advantage at all. And this is why this racist system will never withstand the test of time. It's failing. Everywhere colonialism has been practiced on the face of the earth has failed. And it's failing in America. See, they just know how to put on a good front. We are just in front of a group of people that are very good at acting, but their advantages are not real. Okay. So this article actually came out in 2014, ladies and gentlemen. So this is how they have everybody classified in this group. And even in this article, they admit that the white population is declining. And this is from 2014. Okay. And this is how they have classified in this country, different races and the sizes. And this is from 2010. And you have to ask yourself, how many of these whites are European whites or immigrants that are non-whites that they rolled up into this number, into this percentage? And I can tell you a lot. A lot. If it wasn't for the immigrants, they would be a speck in America right now. And you see right here 5 charts that show why post-white America is already here. And they said this November 21st, 2014. They're already the minority, ladies and gentlemen. But there are many articles that indicate this even from a few years ago. Now, let me show you this quote from Hitler. And by the way, Hitler came from the white community. He had a white mother and a white father. He has nothing to do with the black community. We did not produce this. The white community did. So now let's look at what he said. He said, if you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. That is the truth. Don't you see that their entire existence have been built on lies, even to this day. Okay, all of their superiority comes through lies. All of it. And Hitler making this quote pretty much revealed everything about these people. Look at how they run media coverage in America. It's just a 24-hour cycle of lies. That's all it is. They run the news cycle 24 hours a day just so they could keep an advantage over everybody else, ladies and gentlemen. It's brainwashing. It's witchcraft. It's mind control. But it's not real. It's just what Hitler said. You just keep repeating the lie over and over and over until people start believing it. That's how the devil operates. You know, this is why we got to get from in front of the TV. And that's a starting place to heal. Stop believing them. If they want to believe something is true, let them believe it. Who cares? They can't make you believe it. I don't care what white folks believe. If I research something and know for a fact it's a lie, it doesn't matter what comes out of their mouth. They're not going to get me to believe them. And that's why they're in charge, because they have gotten the black population to believe the lies that they constantly tell. But ladies and gentlemen, these people bleed and they go to that boneyard just like everybody else. They don't have no advantage. The only way I would believe they had an advantage if they showed that they had everlasting life on this earth right now. But they don't have that. The only people that got the advantage on this earth are the ones that are made to be here with melanin. We are equipped to handle the sun. And even the Bible tells you the Most High made us above all people. There is no group on this planet that got an advantage over us. But again, it goes back to this quote Hitler made. If you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. This is their whole existence, ladies and gentlemen. All inside of this one quote. Now, you may ask yourself, why do they keep saying black people are 13% of the population? There's a reason for it, ladies and gentlemen. The reason is the number 13 is negative. Negative. And see, they use psychology because they don't ever want Black people to start feeling good about ourselves. So, in anything that they measure us with, it's always going to be drowning in negativity. So, what better number is there to use on the Black population than 13%? 13 is a negative. It's all psychological, ladies and gentlemen. All of it is psychological. Negative 13. The 13th Amendment. You know, it's all drowning in negativity when it comes down to us. It's psychological warfare. But when you know what's happening, it's ineffective. That's the only reason why you're getting told you're 13% of the population for decades and decades and decades, because 13 is associated with negativity. It's a game, ladies and gentlemen. And there are Black people, unfortunately, repeating this stuff as if it's true. And it's not true. They're running a scam on the Black community by telling you you're 13% of the population. 13, 13, 13. 13 is negative. See, when we start feeling good about ourselves and good about who we are, they've lost. Just know this is what everything is all about. Black people are 13% of the population and commit 50% of the crime. You know, they got to always keep negativity on you in order to keep themselves at the top. Their advantages, ladies and gentlemen, are fake. That's why they got to keep doing that to you. They got to keep coming and telling you this because of what Hitler said. Psychological warfare. Keep telling your lie over and over, and people will believe it. We are not 13% of the population, ladies and gentlemen. We have long surpassed that. But they don't want you to believe otherwise. So, as Hitler said, if you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. Us being 13% of the population is exactly what Hitler had said. So just understand why that number 13 keeps coming up. It has nothing to do with truth. It has everything to do with the number 13 and what it represents. We can break the psychological effects of what they do to us. You know, I'm at the point, I don't believe nothing that comes out of their mouth. When they give me information, I always go back out and research it. I don't take their word for anything. See, I've gotten to that point a long time ago. And I can tell you, probably 99% of the things they say to me when I go out and research, it's a lie. I'm so used to it being a lie. I already know it's a lie before I go and look. Okay, I already know. Now, I want to show you something. In the 1700s, Black people in this country outnumbered whites. And I just want you to know history always repeats itself. It always goes in cycles, almost like a circle, and it comes back around and repeats itself. So if this was possible and it happened in the 1700s, is it far-fetched to believe that it's possible in 2017? Okay, in light of the fact that we're still a growing group and Caucasoids are not. Is it far-fetched to believe that? This is history. And this was not just the South. 1700s, blacks were the biggest group in the entire nation. This was not just isolated to the South, ladies and gentlemen. This was the entire country. We were already outproducing them. Just think about that. 1700s, we were already outproducing them. We were reproducing and far exceeding them in the 1700s. Now they are not reproducing at all, and we still are. Is it really hard to believe that we have gone past them even today? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen. We have been lied to from day one, and the lies have not stopped coming. And what are they doing now? Making up BIE and all that stuff. But it's so funny, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. They made up BIE, what, about 2, 3 weeks ago? And we just had a Walmart shooter less than a day ago that went into Walmart and killed 4, and that was a white male. And we know about Stephen Paddock. He killed 59 people and injured 527 in less than 10 minutes. And then we have the New York City terrorists that mowed down pedestrians walking from Uzbekistan. But this man was actually an American citizen, but he was white. So just sit back and just watch the festivities, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since they put that BIE crap out, all of the mass killings have come from them. And it's going to be more to come. You just wait and see. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comments and subscribe. And if you can, hit that notification bell for my next videos. I would deeply appreciate it. Peace, family.